you have a community that feels that the new president is not for their benefit as far as them just being Americans. He's talking about taking history out of schools.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real.
Real life street stars. You know what time it is.
We need to definitely have a conversation January 21 because something very interesting is happening. The new president is being sworn in on Martin Luther King Day.
Correct. That's by coincidence. It would have been great if Kamala would have had it, but
let me say this.
Go ahead.
The new president is being sworn in on MLK Day. I would love to come back and speak to you after that, watching what transpires on that day and what people are talking about on that day. Because, you have a community that feels that the new president is not for their benefit as far as them just being Americans. He's talking about taking history out of schools.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting what happens. So you talk about tabloids and things.
He wants to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
You mentioned that. You mentioned that earlier. And so you're talking about doing things that affect the world.
Seriously.
And
seriously. He said Canada and the United States should be just clear that line. We're all United States. We're powerful together. I'm like, well, can he just say these things like this? Because these are his plans.
Listen to what he just said. I want to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. How does Mexico feel about that? How does Spain, so you can do it on our maps, but it doesn't necessarily mean the world is going to change what they call it. It's not a piece of property that you or we as Americans just necessarily have. That's like me going to say, I don't want Canada to be called Canada. Thinking you are now North America.
No, that's like you saying, I don't want Pluto to be a planet.
Yeah, it's a star.
Which kind of happened.
It's a star.
Oh, see that.
And so it's going to be very interesting, man, to see.
I would love to have you to talk because we're just 4 years out of January 6th when the insurrection happened or whatever you want to call it. To see how this power transfer happens and how it's supposed to be done, we need to have this conversation because we're talking about history happening as we see it, and we need to speak on it.
History is changing, man. The law and criminal law is changing. It is.
Were there any changes in the Supreme Court or in the judges as far as the judicial system? With Trump, did he hire?
No, it's going to happen once he get in office.
Okay, so when he comes in, he's going to clean.
It's two judges. Two judges right now, Thomas and I'm trying to think who else, who are Republican appointed judges who basically are at that age where they need to or should retire. They're probably going to retire so that he can put two young appointees in and solidify the balance of that Supreme Court for generations.
Yes, for generations.
And so that's most likely to happen. But when I say things changing in the legal system, if you take a look at what took place in politics, I mean, hell, man, everything is going crazy. I mean, UT played Georgia and got a pass interference overturned, which has never happened.
Yeah, right.
And then it turned around and they did it that Sunday in the NFL, and it's never happened.
It's never. But what are we doing? Like, we just
Like
over to like.
right now, dog, I am not surprised if I walk outside and see a cat dating a canary.
Come on, now.
It is just everything is just out of whack. It's nothing is what you
January
think it is.
25th. The planets are supposed to align all in one. It's never happened in our lifetime, and like in like I don't know how many years or centuries, but all the planets are going to align just like right up, from the sun. Do you feel like this is like cosmic energy? Like it's not even political or human, sociological. This is cosmic Thanos type energy.
I don't know if it's cosmic. I don't know if it's spiritual, but I do know this. And leaning more on the spiritual side, I do know that when you release anger and discord and don't check it or silence it or walk away from it, it grows. And what I mean by that, has anybody ever been in a decent mood, good mood, and someone that you cared about or someone that you even didn't care about came up to you and did something that upset you? I had a pastor who used to say, don't let anyone give you their monkey, right? Kind of like the monkey paw. It was a movie in which there was a monkey that couldn't be seen that would latch on to people, but that monkey would cause people to act outside of how they normally act. Kind of like Denzel's movie when about the touch.
Oh yeah, I love Fallen.
Fallen, kind of like Fallen. And so you've met someone and I yelled at you because I was having a bad day, and because I can see you're pissed off, I now feel a little bit better, but now you're pissed off and you walk off and now you piss someone else off. And so I honestly believe that we've opened up the floodgates to all of that. And so now you have so many people who are discontent and upset and angry that you're having these domestic terrorist acts. If you would have had me on here and we would have done January 6th live, I would have literally told you, hey man, they finna storm that building. I would have told you that because it was set, they were a block away. Yeah. And they were pissed. And the words that he said gave someone the idea. And then once somebody walked in, man, you know how it go. Someone pulls on the door opens. Someone says you can't come in. Someone says I can come in. They get into it. Now people behind, you got 10,000 people with you. Most of those people thought, ain't nobody gonna know it was me. So I'm gone all in. You see it when people, it was a version of looting.
Yeah, no, I personally feel that, mind you, George Floyd died in May of 2020. Mm-hmm. And look what we did right after that. I mean, I'm talking about all Louis Vuitton, all jewelry stores. So that was technically 7-8 months later with January 6th in 2021 to where they said, well, George Floyd, they did that. Hell, let's do this. That's what I felt. I felt that we were in an anarchy. A lot of anarchy things were happening within a calendar year that I'm like, man, this is like, is there some kind of law we're going to?
It's when you release that type of energy, that energy, you're going to receive that energy. I mean, I think we as a people now, that's why counseling is so prevalent in that it's necessary, in that people don't know how to receive someone else's anger and not hold on to it. Like you could say something to me, honk, cut me off, and I'll be like, okay. Yeah, my AR is in the back seat. You know, my gun's under my seat. You know what, man? Let me put on Don't Worry, Be Happy and start whistling.
Shut up, Bob Marley.
And go on about my business, man. Because I'm finna go home. I'm finna go home to a loving family, gonna have me a good meal. Everything's taken care of. I'm gonna go to sleep, I'm gonna be all right. But if I engage in that, I can end up in jail or dead. And so people need to learn how to let that bad energy just gone past them.
Man, that's no wiser words spoken. With that being said, I would be delighted to have you back after Martin Luther King Day, and we go through this change of power in America, and have you give us a response into that, and kind of see what we may expect to come. Because again, you're a soothing voice to have, man, for those who are knowledgeable when it comes to things of law and just things of just being around. As long as you've been around this world, it's good to listen to wisdom. So with that being said, I first and foremost have to thank you as of now. For those that, of course, if they still haven't already followed you or did everything else of that nature to follow you and see what you got going on, can you please let them know kind of everywhere you're at, kind of what you're doing, kind of what you're going through? You're home from vacation right now. Hopefully we got them for a little bit.
Home for vacation. It's if you want to find out everything about me, you can go to tailormadelaw.com. All my social media is on my website. It's the Gucci lawyer, the RealLyfe lawyer, Larry Taylor, all of those are on Instagram. As far as something that I'm doing that's new, I am doing the parental penitentiary, little skits. I'm silly once in a while. I think my wife thinks I'm funny, so if
That's
nobody else, if nobody else watches it, she'll watch it. But I'm just talking about perspectives about being a parent and letting people know. Because when I thought about it, being a parent is like being locked up. You just can't do what you want to do, because that's what prison is. It's somewhere where you're confined to someone else's time and doing what they need you to do. And being a parent is very similar to that, Facts. And so I'm doing these skits talking about, real things that are happening or have happened with me and my kids and my family and my wife. And so if you want a good laugh, check me out. It's on TikTok.
There you go.
And I think that one's under Gucci Lawyer. But if you go to tailormadelaw.com, you'll find everything and check out me being crazy and silly and just letting off some steam, talking about the parental prison. and learn exactly what voluntary impregnation is. And so, I make up words all the time. So
I like it.
Check us out.
No, definitely, man. For those that want to go and just kind of check all your content out, especially on our channel, just go in the search bar on our channel, man. Type in RealLyfe Lawyer. All his interviews and commentary will come up. Definitely get yourself education, because that's all that's there is knowledge and wealth of knowledge. So with that being said, I have to say it, man. The RealLyfe Lawyer, Attorney Larry Taylor, back on the couch. Thank you once again. You are a real life street star.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Shout out RealLyfe Street Stars, nigga. Move it. Hey.